Hello and welcome to Meanwhile in the Falklands again. Not in the Falklands. I am joined on the sofa, as I was last week, by Steve, my husband. Hello.
Hello there.
It's the first time I've seen you this morning.
I know, just to let everybody know, we are social distancing. Paula is one end of the sofa and I am the other.
Yes. A full arm length away.
Full arm length away, yes.
We've been keeping to ourselves in deepest, darkest Hampshire and not really going out very much. As per instructions. We're both all right though, aren't we?
Yeah, no, we've been doing, to be fair, we're doing a lot of reading.
Yes.
And I now know why IC is one of the easiest words in the world in the dictionary to spell.
Do you know what? I'm not even going to get to even take that bait.
Well, I was just going to say, now I see why. But there you go.
Oh, goodness me. Right, I'm sorry, listener. I did tell him before we started there was to be no dad jokes whatsoever.
But to be fair, I've had requests. Well, I have a fan base now. It may only be of two.
Well, they haven't contacted me and I'm in charge, so
okay.
That's that. Anyway, so we are, as I say, we're in deepest, darkest Hampshire. We have got the River Itchen worryingly close, I feel, to where we're staying. And it's very high water as well. We've all seen the photos, haven't we, and the footage of people flooding in various parts of the country. Luckily, I think there's going to be no more rain in this part of the world because I don't think we could really stand it.
No, I mean the water level is literally a couple of inches under the arch of the bridge, and all of the ditches are completely full.
They're full, aren't they?
And literally lapping over the top.
Yeah.
So yeah, we another deluge would definitely be problematic.
Anyway, what we've been up to this past week, well, not this past week, but this past couple of weeks. If you have the chance, I know everyone's social distancing and main places are being closed, but when you get the chance to watch this release of Emma, I highly recommend it. I've been 3 times. I went with the... Don't look at me like that. I went with the youngest daughter. I went with you. And then I went on my own because I thought it was just brilliant.
Yes. Paula, obviously, Paula is a huge fan of that genre of film.
Jane Austen in particular.
And it's her go-to sort of film, when she's feeling a little bit under the weather or a little bit anxious or whatever. But I will say, listener, that I fell asleep in it.
Did you?
Yeah, and I could blame the fact of jet lag because it was the following day after I'd arrived.
Yes, it was.
But I just fell asleep in it. And the only other films I've ever fallen asleep in are Garfield and Alvin and the Chipmunks. So I'll leave it there.
I have to say, we went to, it was a small independent cinema, wasn't it? And they had like sofas as seats with like a little table in between you.
Well, yes, let's just give it a plug. It's the Everyman in Winchester.
Oh, there you go.
And it's fantastic.
It's
a fantastic cinema. And if you're ever in the Winchester area, go and see a film. It's just a wonderful cinema.
Anyway, big news this week. My ukulele's arrived.
Yes, we know.
Right, listener, it's just beautiful. I'm still in the stage of just opening the case and just looking at it at the moment because it is incredibly beautiful. It's a solid top concert pineapple. For those who know, they'll go, ooh. So it is lovely. It really, really nice. Plays beautifully. And thanks to the guys down at Southern Ukulele Store down in Bournemouth, who deliver, by the way, so you can order online if you're social distancing and self-isolating. Get yourself on their website and order one, get it delivered. It's fantastic. You've been looking at Lego. Have you made a decision?
Yes, I think that a Lego Technique model would be awesome. Okay. And I haven't made my mind up on which one, but I'm going to have a look. And if this goes on for too much longer, definitely get one of those because it's a good way to pass the time.
Now, years ago, we had a Toy Story car thing for the girls, which we lost in the fire. Another story, listener, I'll tell you one day, which we lost in the fire. But once you've made the Lego model, you've only got to just nudge it and it comes apart. So what do you do with it?
Well, that's not true. That's obviously... No, I mean, a lot of people will display them. You know, like an FX model. You know, once you've
That's another story as well, listener. We'll get into that another day.
Yeah. So currently in negotiations about displaying the FX models on the ceiling in the house.
In the toilet, I think we'll put them.
Is that with your art?
That's with my art.
Okay.
Yeah, Mark goes in the toilet as well. Anyway, briefly, so we're in the UK currently, and we went shopping earlier on this week, didn't we, to get a few bits and pieces. No potatoes, no eggs. I mean, I was 7 years ago in the Falklands. We had that problem when the potato boat didn't
Yes,
come
there
in.
was a bit of a toilet roll frenzy as well.
Here?
Yeah, when we went, people were, in the cages because it hadn't been put on the shelves.
This is in the UK, by the way.
Yeah,
not...
They were people were going up to the cages because the toilet roll hadn't been put on the shelves yet, and ripping open the cellophane, plastic off it and taking it out. So
yes.
And
all
of
difficult
course,
times, really.
Yeah, it is. But of course, what we're at the moment, we haven't got any toilet roll, and so we're using lettuce. Today was the tip of the iceberg.
Do you know what? As you were starting to talk, I was thinking, something's coming. Something's coming. Do I stop him? Put your phone down, because I know what you're doing. You're looking at all the dad jokes and relating to them. For goodness sake. Anyway, it is all, all different here at the moment. The Falkland Islands college students, this is why we're social distancing. The Falkland Islands college students are going back to the Falklands. The uni students have been contacted to ask if they want to go back as well. But the air bridge is cancelled this week, isn't it?
Yes, it's been cancelled. So initially it was delayed for 24 hours. Now it's been cancelled. We are led to believe that it's going to have to find another route because Cape Verde has closed its borders to international flights. So that's probably the reason why it's cancelled. And if you remember when the air bridge changed over from going to Ascension,
that was a sudden change as well, wasn't it? That was a sudden
change, and it for a short period of time it went via Dakar before it went to Cape Verde. So I guess that may still be an option.
Quite possibly. BIFSI, the British Forces South Atlantic Islands, did put a press release out earlier on in the week saying that they would find a way to get that, because there's obviously medicines and all sorts on that. Medical supplies.
It's an absolute.
Sorry, that's the dishwasher just emptying behind us as well.
Yeah, no, it's a crucial sort of logistics line into the Falklands. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but they've got a ship due the beginning of April, haven't they, with more stuff? But I think the Falkland Islands is a bit more. I don't really think they would panic buy, because if you're watching FITV Falklands in Focus this week, you'll see Christine is talking about, she's in London at the moment, and how, things like shortage of potatoes and shortage of eggs and something. It's how it was in the Falklands a few years ago, before that egg farm came to being, didn't it? I certainly remember when we first went there.
You see, this is the thing. So we've had yokes of folks now for 3 years or 4 years maybe, and you tend to forget that. There used to be in the winter when the hens stopped laying a little bit, a few weeks or so when it was pretty hard to get eggs. People
had water jars. I've never seen one, but people have spoken about how they had, I think it's called water jars, in their sheds with the eggs in. And people who are my age remember going as a child to having to collect the eggs, and it was freezing cold to go and collect the eggs out of the water jar. So yes, it's interesting times, folks. Anyway, in the Falklands this week, if Facebook, big on the Falklands. If you're thinking of going to the Falklands, if you're on a contract or anything, get onto Facebook. The cathedral's closed, although Reverend Ian is doing stuff online. I think he's releasing little videos online.
Yeah, I saw one on Facebook. Yeah, he's quite a an up-to-date rev.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Museums closed, clubs are closed, NPCs closed, the cinemas closed. Clubs that have got risk of injury, like motocross and the hockey, they're not going to meet anymore just in case somebody get injured.
Yeah,
and
because they
have to
don't
be
want to put pressure
medevaced.
on the medical services there. Yeah.
Cinema being closed, because this will be the same in the UK as well, because all the like big blockbusters are being pushed back, aren't they?
Oh yeah, I mean Bond was supposed to come out April, and it's been pushed back to November. Mulan has got pushed back. That was
I was looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, that's been pushed back. So they're all being pushed back because obviously, they're just not going to get the people coming
Bums
if they
on
put
seats.
them out now. So with cinemas closed and those that are open, you just won't get the numbers. So yeah.
So it could be a case where Emma gets Oscars and awards this year because there's no other films coming out.
And you could be at the Brit Awards with a ukulele.
Yeah, let's do it. Do it. I'm working on a Bach piece, by the way, a cello prelude, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not ready to do anything yet. Put that phone down. I can see you're looking for more jokes. So I'll bring you news of that when I get there. Anyway, we thought we'd have extend from last week, where we were talking about making full and proper use of your luggage allowance when you were coming down to the Falklands and what to expect in the shops and things like that. So this week we thought we'd look at what you'd be doing in your downtime.
Yes, because that is one of the main factors about coming to the Falklands. Your commute. So if you do come from the UK, you'll probably be used to a fairly long...
you did an hour and a quarter on a good day, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And if there was an accident on the roads, then it would be longer. But in the Falklands, of course, you probably at best, if you're driving, got a 5-minute commute. But see, one of the things you can do to include in your exercise regime is to walk to work.
Yes.
So even walking from one end of town to the other is only about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I did last year when we were doing a production of The Importance of Being Earnest, and I was Lady Bracknell. Thank you very much. And I had my words recorded on my iPhone, and I walked to work listening to them because it was just about 40 minutes of words. And my blood pressure went down, and I lost weight just by doing that 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So I might have to do that again.
But you've obviously got lots and lots of clubs and societies. So for instance, when we first arrived in the Falklands 10 years ago, one of the things I took up, which I hadn't done since I was a 14-year-old adolescent, was badminton.
Oh yes.
And badminton is a very well organised club.
It is, and it has the best. The most enjoyable fundraisers that they do.
Well, you say that. Okay. They have now got competition, I believe, from the table tennis association.
Oh yes, because they had organised some kind of gala, hadn't they, earlier on in the year?
Well, yeah, and I mean they recently Javier I hesitate to use the word rave because I can't. The word rave and the Falkland Islands does not go hand in hand. But a music event.
Yeah, he's very musical, isn't he?
Because he does like his music and his lighting effects and stuff, and that went down really well. And that was a fundraiser for the table tennis.
Yeah,
as well.
And also the table tennis have made friends with the drag stars. It's the drag show that went last year, Drag Stravaganza. We raised funds for the table tennis then.
I mean that was a really good event, wasn't it? Because the table tennis association benefited from it, because it was just before the Island Games in Gibraltar, so they were able to help them to send the 3 people that went there to compete. But we also helped the Girl Guides, obviously, with their jamboree that was in Bermuda, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In particular raised just over £4,000 for them, which will really help them.
So Steve and I, fully fledged members, or I'm a fully fledged member of the Falkland Islands Society of Drag Artists, but you're one of the sidelines.
I'm more of your confetti cannon carrying and letting off at the right time member of the team.
Anyway, more if you want to see more on that, there is a LGBT plus allies Facebook group, or FI LGBT. It's all the letters. Just put a load of letters in, starting with FI, and see what comes up.
Yeah, just put Ugga Bumpston Woof in, and it'll come up. I'm sure.
FI Uncle Bumps and Wolf. New clubs in the Falklands. Short mat bowls. That's just started. I'm really sad that I missed that. I think we ought to go and have a go at that.
Short mat bowls. It's the Falkland Islands have competed at the Commonwealth Games in long bowls of 4. So it's Satchel, Cecil, Alexander. That's the sort of impetus behind that, and it's introduced. So they've got a couple of carpets, I guess you call them, and they put them up. And I think it's a Monday and a Thursday.
Oh right, we'll be on for that.
And I've had a go. It's really quite good. It's really quite enjoyable. And but it's short mat. So I mean, normally long green bowls is probably over something like 30 meters.
Right.
Whereas the short mat is over 12.
Okay, that could be my thing as well then. So as you would well, no, actually, I'm looking at my list of all the clubs that are sports clubs that are in the Falklands. About half and half, indoor and outdoor. Archery, that sort of got resurrected about 8 years ago, didn't it? About 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, that was Mark Lewis, really, wasn't it?
I
think he was at the time he was the Attorney General, but he sort of did it again in the UK when he was a lad, and he decided to
bring it on
and work with Justin McPhee from Shore on that, and they introduced it. And again, I mean, back at Gotland, we won a medal.
We did,
we won a bronze medal.
There's netball, basketball, badminton. We've mentioned badminton. I think I love all the clubs. I think they're all brilliant, but badminton is incredibly well organised, I feel. Swimming. There's a swimming pool there, although I don't know. Bit of controversy about the swimming pool.
Yeah, it's not open right now.
It's not open right now. No. If you want to know more of that, go on to the FITV Facebook page, YouTube channel, or indeed our website. And I did a massive talking point on the swimming pool, so you can have a look at that if you want to. So other things, if you're not really sporty, there's FIODA, which is the drama group. They are just about to, they were going to be doing Witness for the Prosecution, which is the Agatha Christie play. That may change, and they may push that back a little bit later on into the
year. I would imagine they will. They'll probably be, with things the way they are, they'll probably be advisable to do that.
Yeah. There's a lady called Wendy who does the most amazing quilting. I mean, seriously, beautiful quilting and applique. She has a small group meet at her house. There is a book club, I'm told, but it's one of these book clubs that everyone talks about but nobody knows about. You don't need to do the quote. I can see you're ready to do the quote. You don't need to do it. So you basically got to find somebody who knows somebody who's in it, and that's how you get involved in the book club. If not, start your own.
I just feel my comedic energy is being stifled.
Live with it. There is a Facebook group called Literally Literate, which I started with a friend. It's a Facebook group where you can put short stories and stuff on. We did try and meet once. It just turned out to be just me and someone else, and that was it. But if you are into writing and things like that, let's resurrect that. Let's shove the dust off it and get that one out.
And to be fair, if you are, if you're coming to the Falklands and you've got a passion for something, you're good at something, and it doesn't already exist, start it up.
Yeah, didn't somebody start salsa lessons, didn't they, a few years ago? Yeah,
salsa. But that's how the cricket started with Dr. Diggle. A number of years ago. That's how archery, I've just explained, started. Yeah, the whole hockey thing started in when
Grant
came back. If you've got a passion for something and it's not there, you can start it up, and you'll generally find you get very well supported.
The hockey is particularly popular at the moment. Probably the most popular sport, would you say?
Yeah, that's the inline hockey.
Yeah, there's deck hockey and ball hockey as well. We do get told off occasionally by people because if we've got somebody new at FITV, they do get their deck hockey and ball hockey mixed up. But they apparently, I've never played, so I can't say for certain, but there is very particular differences about it. Katie was a big hockey player. She did field hockey, which is another genre of hockey entirely, apparently.
Yeah, yes, it's well, field hockey is I
On a
suppose
field, presumably.
It is. It's outdoor, strangely enough, and it's probably the most popular type of hockey in the UK. I mean, I played it. It's one of those games actually. If you went to a mixed set school like I did, it was one of the games you actually played together.
Okay.
Yeah, and I remember the girls were vicious, to be honest.
Yes, we are. I played hockey at school. I did break somebody's nose once, accidentally, I have to say. Anyway, moving on. Painting class. It's my favourite part of the whole week. Saturday morning, 10 till 12. It's where my blood pressure goes right down. Richard does this painting class at the school, a watercolour painting class. It is absolutely fantastic. So if you're going down to the Falklands, even if you're going just like for a little while, obviously not at the moment because you won't be able to fly, but if you do go down there and you've got a Saturday morning free, please go down to contact Richard and see if you can get involved in the painting class. You will not be disappointed. By the end of the first lesson, you will have painted a landscape and you will look at it and go, did I just do that? He's amazing. So can highly recommend that. Music lessons, there are a few musicians, well, there's quite a few musicians actually.
I mean, you know, the music teacher, I can't
Shirley.
Shirley,
Yeah.
I mean, she'll do music lessons.
But she's got so many students. She may not have any room. That's the thing. You find somebody, and it's whether they've got the time to.
Yeah, and when Andy Neat was there, she used to do like guitar lessons.
She did singing and guitar lessons. Yeah.
I'm not sure who else there is at the moment, but I'm sure.
But there'll be people that, again, it's going to be one of those things that when you get down to the Falklands, get out. Well, not at the moment, but when it all returns back to normal, get out and about, go down to the pub, speak to some people. You'll be amazed at how quickly you can be absorbed into something.
Yes, or if you're a piano teacher or you're a singing coach, come down to the Falklands. Come and live in the Falklands, and then that will be all sorted.
Yeah, indeed. I was going to say something about Friday the 13th, and when we sat here just having a chat about what we were going to talk about in this podcast, and I said, it's Friday the 13th, we can talk about this. And Steve's like, no, it's Friday the 20th, actually. Is it the 20th or 23rd?
It is the 20th, and I don't know what happened to your week.
No, I don't know either. But anyway, from last week, I think it's probably on YouTube, when Thomas first joined us, I asked him to do a superstition piece, and he put together this piece where it involved him putting up an umbrella in the house and just walking around with this kind of spooky voice on. And at the end, he put some kind of filter on the when he edited it, so it looks a bit oldie, desaturated colours and all of that. And at the end, he sits down with a cup of tea, says his last line, takes a sip of tea, and misses his mouth, and it all dribbles down his chin and onto his shirt. So worthwhile having a quick gander at that on YouTube if you want to have a look at superstitions. Have you got any superstitions?
Not at all. No, absolutely
neither.
no. I'm not a superstitious person at all. I'll even walk under ladders.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'd rather be hit on the head by a tin of paint than run over by a bus. By having to go round the ladder and walk onto the road.
Do you know, every time you talk, I've got this manic look in my eyes thinking, what is he going to come out with? Just in case you do something, say some kind of dad joke. But anyway, that sort of brings us to the end of what we were going to talk about this week. FITV Tower seems to be back up and running, although they've got a bit of a changeover because, well, I don't know, if the flights are going next week, whether Catherine will make it down there and Kyle will swap out with her.
Well, only time will tell on that.
Yeah.
I mean, the media ops person, I guess she won't be allowed off the base at the moment, but normally she's a good source of information.
Yeah.
I mean, the military do a fantastic job. In fact,
They do.
They do a really good job on.
I have to say, personally, and this is obviously a personal opinion, I would rather fly on the air bridge than through the other the ways that you can do it, because I'm not a very confident person flying or travelling on my own anyway. But knowing that you just get on, and they do look after you.
Oh yeah.
I've been, when it went through Ascension, I've been delayed at Ascension for 12 hours, and yeah, okay, it's not the best place to sleep, but at least you've got somewhere to stretch out that's clean.
Yeah, they do. They really look after you.
So yeah, I'm happy with them.
And you tend to find the man in camouflage quite attractive, don't you? I don't see it myself, but there you go.
Oh my. Right, this is it now. I think we'll end it right there. Thank you very much for listening. I don't know whether it will be us next week, or whether I'll be battered Steve around the head with his phone that's got all the dad jokes loaded onto it. Who knows? But anyway, take care of yourselves. Social distance. Big elbow bump to you, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, take care, and more for next week.